All right. All right, all right, all right, all right. We are jumping into Monday's live here today. I think we are live here today. Go ahead and for those of you tuning in, go ahead and let me know that you're rolling in here. Give this video a like. Show me some love here. Let me know who's here today. Who's here today? Go ahead, drop a comment below if you can see me and if you can hear me. Let me know if you guys can see me and hear me. Go ahead and drop me a comment below. Let me know. And give me some likes, give me some loves if you guys are ready today to talk about enmeshments. What do you guys want to learn about enmeshment here today? So for those of you tuning in, hey Maria, nice to see you. Let me know who's here today. Go ahead, drop a comment below. Let me know who's here. Today we get to talk about enmeshment, which is a topic that we don't often hear. We don't often hear about this thing called enmeshment. So go ahead right now for those of you tuning in. If you're ready, let's see who's with us here today. Go ahead if you're tuning in. Let me know that you're here. Let's all be part of this community here, and let's jump into the topic into this discussion today of enmeshment. So go ahead, like I said, as you're rolling in here, go ahead, let me know that you're here below, and go ahead and comment if you're ready for me to start to jump into what is enmeshment and what needs to change so that we are not relying on others for our, if we're trying to be independent, right? So let's first jump into, and hi for those of you tuning in. Nice to see you guys. Cheryl, Karen, nice to see you. Digital high fives to you guys showing up on a Monday night. Hope you're all doing amazing and having a powerful start to your week. So first of all, let's talk about what enmeshment is, because oftentimes we can confuse this with things like codependency. And while enmeshment is a symptom of codependency, so it's really the symptom of this trauma we call codependency. So what exactly is it? What enmeshment looks like is low levels of distance. So low levels of distance, both physically and emotionally, between people. Does this sound familiar? Boundaries are unclear and emotions become fused. This should already be hitting home for a lot of you guys. Do you feel like your emotions end up getting fused with those people around you? Maybe they're getting fused with clients. Maybe they're getting fused with like your parents or your kids, right? Where are your emotions getting muddy because you're hyper vigilant to everyone else's feelings around you, right? Enmeshment, really what it looks like is it's a form of control. It's a form of passive control that we often learn as kids. This is typically, let's be honest here, our foundation that we're running on is built as we're kids, as we're children. So it's a form of control that dissolves. Hey, Gail, digital high fives to everybody tuning in here. Go ahead. Let me know that you're here for those of you tuning in. I love to see who's tuning in today. And drop me a comment, drop me a like, drop me a love if you're ready for me to roll into these principles here of really starting to untangle this thing called enmeshment. Like I said earlier, enmeshment really is just a symptom of codependency. And like I said, boundaries are unclear. It's a form of control that ends up dissolving away our own identities and our own individuality. How powerful is that? By us trying to control or manipulate or to please, in a lot of our cases, we end up dissolving away our own individuality and our own sense of identity. this should hit home for so many of you right now. I know this hits home for me. So first of all, why is it important to focus on clearing this up? How is enmeshment getting in the way of you running a successful business, being a successful and authoritative coach? Or maybe you're out there in the dating world, or maybe it's showing up with your kids. Or are you becoming enmeshed in your business or in your job? We can become enmeshed in what we're doing as well. So our identities can get tied to our business, or they can cross over into our colleagues or our clients that we're working with. And I'm going to run through what this looks like. So why do we need to tackle this? Why is it so important to start to build your own sense of individuality? Why is it important to start to do this? Right? Because who cares about what enmeshment is? Who cares about cleaning it up unless we know why? And if you're ready to learn why, go ahead, type why in the comments. Let me know that you're ready to learn why this is important. What's going on here subconsciously? How is this showing up in our lives? Go ahead, put why in the comments. Let me know that you're ready for me, to jump into these principles here. Go ahead, put why in the comments. Let me know that you're ready to go. Good. Yeah. Yep. Why is this happening? Yep. Anyone else want to know why this is coming up for you? And why it's important to fix this most of all, right? What are the repercussions of continuing this enmeshment, right? So first of all, if you are becoming enmeshed with others, you end up taking on responsibility that's not yours. There is a huge imbalance of responsibility. If you're a coach, this can look like you working overtime. If you're leading people, you're working overtime, you're staying late, you're trying to prove yourself on sales calls, right? So you end up drained at the end of the day because you're not focused on helping your clients, you're focused on proving yourself. Can you see how powerful these two behaviors, the behavior of proving yourself is going to be way different than the habits of someone who's trying to coach and help their clients. It also, you end up giving away time that people didn't pay you for. So are you doing this in your business? Are you doing this in your life? Even if you're not running a business right now, maybe you're aspiring to give yourself financial freedom, you're aspiring to be a coach, you're going to be doing this in your personal life, because how we act in one place is how we act everywhere. So if you become enmeshed with your mom or your kids or your friends, then it's going to happen in your business or your future business. So you end up giving up too much of yourself away. You end up overgiving. And clients end up, and other people, it doesn't have to be clients, end up relying on you for things that are not your responsibility. They end up relying on you, and what ends up happening is that if they don't get the result, they turn around and blame you. And then we live out of this fear of being blamed, right? That we're not good enough coaches, we're not good enough to lead, we're not good enough friends, we're not good enough spouses, we're not a good enough mom, good enough dad, right? Also, what ends up happening is you're so busy pleasing others. So this is also going to, if you're a people pleaser or a recovering people pleaser, I think everybody here, we can all officially say we're recovering, right? Is that because you're so busy pleasing others, you don't do what's best for you, and you don't do what's best for your business. Let that one sink in. Because you're too busy focused on pleasing and getting approval, because you're enmeshed in what your clients are feeling or lack of what you want them to feel. You can't put yourself first. You can't fill your own cup. So are you showing up drained? I remember when I used to be drained after my client sessions. I would be drained because I would take on the stress that my clients were feeling. Do you do this in your life? For those of you who are here watching, put yes in the comments or no. Do you take on other people's stress? Yes in the comments or no. You'll already know the answer to this. When other people are stressed, do you take it on and then you feel like the dread and the oh my God, and then you feel like you have to solve it? Right? Drop yes or no in the comments. I want to gauge here where everybody is. Yeah. Yep. So this can happen with your clients. This can happen with your friends. I remember I used to get enmeshed with my friends and I felt like I had to solve their problems. Do you feel like you have to solve other people's problems for them? Like you have to come up with ideas. You have to give them unsolicited advice, and it's a lot of pressure on you. You see? Here's another way this backfires. If you're enmeshed, you end up giving off this energy of being needy or being clingy, right? We often, if you're working with clients, you become enmeshed. As you're taking on their fears, you end up going down the rabbit hole with them. How can you lead them? How can you coach them if you're not keeping what I like to call energetic boundaries? Energetic boundaries, not just physical. It's not just about physical boundaries, but emotional boundaries and energetic boundaries, which means you don't get dragged down. You don't get dragged down with them. Another reason why we need to clean this up here is because you end up spending so much of your time operating out of guilt and shame and resentment. How many of you here have ever given someone advice out of feeling like you needed to fix something for them, only to have them not follow through? They completely disregard your advice, and then you start to resent them. Has this ever happened to you? Give me a like here. Say yes in the comments. You drain yourself trying to help others, and then they don't do it. They don't follow through. Is this a yes for you guys or a no? Give me a thumbs up in the chat or a yes if this is you. Do you end up just trying to pour your heart and soul trying to save people, which is another way this shows up is you end up trying to save people. If you're working with clients, you try to save your clients. You try to rescue them from feeling sad or hurt or stressed. And it's so important, and I'm going to talk about this in future videos. It is so important to let people fall so they can feel the pain, so they have the motivation to move forward. And I will talk about that more in future videos, but it is so important to give people space to take action. Because if you keep rescuing, again, if you struggle with enmeshment, you take on other people's feelings and energies. If you're an empath, how many of you are an empath here? I'm just curious. Put empath in the comments. How many of you are empaths here? Yes, I'm getting yeses. Empath, yes. How many of you are empaths here? Drop empath in the comments. Don't have any more empaths here? Well, if you're an empath, this can feel like a burden. Taking on other people's emotions can feel like a burden, right? Does that resonate? When you don't know what to do with them. You don't know how to keep that distance, keep that space. Yep. And if you're doing this with clients, how are you going to lead them? Right? So there's so many reasons here why we need to clean up this, right? And it's not to say that you are dysfunctional or flawed or anything like that. In fact, you can turn this into a superpower. And it's something that I teach inside of a course that I have. This is something that I teach, how to turn sensitivity into a superpower. Because if you're a coach here watching, how many people are coaches here or aspiring coaches? Put coach in the comments. How many of you are coaches here and aspiring coaches? Just go ahead and put coach in the comments. Let me know if you're coaching already or if you want to be a coach. No coaches here? I don't have any coaches here. No aspiring coaches here? No? Nobody's coaching here? Maybe maybe I'm not talking to the right people. So here's what ends up happening when we are enmeshed. And this is how it starts to really get dysfunctional in our relationships with our clients. Oh, good. Here we go. Here we got some coaches coming in. Cheryl's a coach. It's nice to see all these lovely faces. By the way, nice to see you, Bruno. Nice to see you, Cheryl. Shout out for being here on this Monday night. Karen, nice to see you. Jackie, awesome. Of course, Maria, nice to see everybody here. Thumbs up for you all being here today. So here's what ends up happening. Here's a way you end up blocking clients from success, right? If you struggle with imposter syndrome, if you struggle with not feeling good enough, this could be a habit of yours. If you struggle with enmeshment, okay, Jackie says aspiring disability coach, awesome. Boy, do we need that in this world, right? We need help with that. So social, yep, if you're a service-based provider, social service worker, yep, but this can still take place. If you're working with people and enmeshment's getting in the way, then you're blocking results for your clients, right? So here's what ends up happening. Because we automatically take on other people's emotions, here's one of the biggest ones. Because we automatically take on other people's emotions, we expect others to do the same. This was one of the biggest insights, one of the biggest light bulb moments I had, was that because I was just instant to take on other people's emotions, because you automatically take on other people's emotions and let it saturate you, you expect and you think others will do the same. And this also causes problems because then you expect your clients to emotionally support you. You expect people to emotionally support you, right? There's the expectation, that's what's getting in the way. What I'm not saying here is emotional support is bad. That's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is now there's an expectation. And then when it doesn't get met, what happens? What happens when expectation doesn't get met? Well, guys, drop it in the comments. What happens when your expectations don't get met? What comes up for you? One thing I already know what's coming up for me is disappointment. I feel disappointed. People aren't doing the same for me that I'm doing for them, right? What comes up for you? Sometimes anger, because you expect people to do the same for you, but they're not. They're not taking on your stuff. They're not giving you coaching. They're not giving you free advice. The things that you're doing for everyone else, right? Disappointed. Yeah. Can you see how can you all see now with everything I've said so far, how much burnt out? Yeah, exactly. I can guarantee you, if you are a burnt out coach, if you are burnt out as a coach, I can almost guarantee you it's because part of that is enmeshment. Do you stay over time with your clients? Do you give way more of yourself than what they're paying for? I know one thing I used to do was I used to over prepare for clients. I used to over prepare, and it wasn't for the client. It was because I was anxious. It was to soothe my anxiety. Are you doing this as well? Are you trying to soothe your own anxiety by over preparing, by working harder, by giving more of yourself? And all in the end, this turns out and puts out needy energy, which ends up, by the way, when you put out needy energy, clients feel that, and that's the reason they walk away. How many of you are doing sales calls? You handle sales calls, you're enrolling clients. How many of you here are actually doing enrollment calls? Put sales in the comments. Let me know here for those of you who are on the front end of your business here. just drop sales in the comments. Let me know if you're doing face-to-face enrollment calls with people. None of you guys are doing sales on your on the front end of your business? Because I can guarantee you this is showing up on your sales calls as well. Do you hesitate to raise your rates because you feel their pain? You feel their right? Yep. So Jackie, yep. Over prepare. Yeah. So are they paying you for this? I realize people aren't. And so anyway, that cleans it up for me. Maybe that's going to be a helpful seed for you to plant right here. Right? So you're over preparing. You're hesitating to raise your rates because you feel bad, like you feel like you're putting your customer in pain. So you never raise your prices. Are you undervaluing yourself as a coach? Are you undervaluing yourself as a service level provider? Meaning you provide a service and it requires you to show up, right? It requires you to be there on the front end. So maybe are you chasing clients away because of this energy, right? And you expect people to emotionally support you. You end up draining yourself during and after sessions, between sessions as well. And you internalize your clients. Here's a big one. Here's a huge one. Here's a huge habit that was getting in the way for me as a coach and is probably getting in the way of you being a successful leader, is that you internalize your clients' results or lack of. Who can raise their hand here? Put hand in the comments if this is you. I can raise my hand here. This is something that I struggled with for a long time, was that I internalized. Do you internalize your clients' results or lack of? As I'm not good enough. I am a horrible coach. I shouldn't be doing this. I don't deserve I don't deserve to be happy. I don't deserve to do what I love for a living. I'm not good enough. I have imposter syndrome. Put hand in the comments if this is you. This is really where it all boils down to when you struggle with enmeshment. And in the end, all of these behaviors that I just listed, they end up leaving you drained, exhausted, resentful, in this hamster wheel of anxiety. You're trying to get self-worth from your clients. You're trying to get your worth from your prospects. You're busy wondering if people like you versus running your business and being a leader and stepping into authority. You're kind of walking on eggshells. Are you guys walking on eggshells? You guys feel that? And in the end, this leaves you broke. This leaves you broke in your business. This leaves you plateaued in your business. And as business expenses rise, your rate does not. So can you see why it's really important to clean up all of these things? You can have all of the right strategies in business. You can have the right sales script. But if you are becoming enmeshed with your prospects or your current clients, you're going to be in this hamster wheel of broke, struggling, exhausted, tired, and resentful. See that? So what are the principles here? What do we need to start to recognize here so we can defeat this, so we can escape this hamster wheel? Because I know it's a vicious cycle. It's draining and we just get fed up and we almost abandon our dreams. How many of you have almost abandoned your dreams? Your dream as a coach, your dream as a service-based provider to help people. Put dreams in the comments. Put dreams in the comments. If you have been on the edge, maybe you're there right now. You're like, should I do this or shouldn't I do this? Should I do this or should I not do this? I'm drained. I'm tired. I'm stuck. People don't see my value, right? Put dreams in the comments. If you've teetered or you are teetering, because this is a pivotal moment for you, right? Are you one of these people? Are you questioning whether you can do this, whether you can be a successful leader and a coach and an authority in your niche? Go ahead, drop dreams in the comments. Nobody here? Nobody here has ever been there. It's just me. It's just me wondering. You're not wondering if maybe you'll need another job. You're not wondering if you need like a backup source to get another paycheck. You're not chasing down the next client, chasing down the next payment. This is also what ends up happening. When you end up chasing clients away, you end up chasing the next payment, chasing the next client. Yes, dreams and self-worth. Thank you for sharing, Jackie. Yeah. So we're not alone here, guys. That's the most important thing to remember as we're all here in this group, is that none of us are alone. None of us are dysfunctional. None of us are weird. None of us are strange. We are all struggling with similar things, and we can all help each other. So I'm excited. Thank you guys for sharing so far. So let's jump right into the principles here. What needs to change here? How can we start to create this space so that, working on a new job. Yeah. So we start to go backwards. We let our self-doubt eat us alive, right? Rather than busting through what's going on, we're like, maybe I have to, maybe I should. And we give into the fear. Well, let me ask you guys, how much longer do you want to let fear drive the wheel? How much longer do you want to let fear have its hands on the wheel and not you? Because I know it, I get it. I've been there, I get it. But you can also break through this. So the first principle, are you guys ready for me to go into the principles of how to break this cycle? Go ahead, put yes in the comments. Let me know you're ready for me to go into these principles here. These are the 6 things that need to happen so that we can eliminate this vicious cycle. Go ahead, let me know. Put yes in the comments if you're ready for me to jump in here on the solution here to getting out of this. Yes or no in the comments. Thank you, Maria. Yep. Anybody else? Anybody else want to know these principles to escaping this hamster wheel? So you can finally start to be the coach you want to be and lead, right? If you're a coach here, you probably want to be a leader, right? You want to be like, you want to see that client struggling and maybe they're crying. I can't tell you, almost every session I conduct, clients cry, right? Including myself. And who do you want to be in that moment? Do you want to feel their pain and feel bad for them and pity them? Do you pity your clients? That's another way this shows up. So the first principle here, guys, first principle we've lightly touched on is to set boundaries. Boundaries are what is missing here. Energetic, emotional, physical. What are the differences between emotional and energetic? Emotions, are you taking on their emotions, right? Are you taking on their sadness? Are you taking on their stress? And then in turn, the emotion you're taking on is you're going to put out a vibe. You're going to put out a vibration. So are you putting out the same vibration as them? And we're going to talk more about energy and what energy has to do with being a high ticket coach. Your energy is everything when it comes to being a highly paid virtual coach. Your energy, people do not buy you. They do not buy your product. They do not buy your time. People buy your energy. Number one most important thing. It should be the most important reason why you should be motivated to move out of this enmeshment and clear this up. Next principle, stop internalizing. Stop internalizing client results as a reflection of your own worth as a coach or a person. Stop internalizing that. Stop making it about you, their results or a lack of results. You hear that? Next principle here is to start to say Can you all guess what's coming next? Get comfortable with saying no. Get comfortable with saying no. Because what we're talking about here is where you end and where others begin. And that can only be created if you set boundaries. It's nothing if it's just muddled up in our heads here. It's nothing to the outside world if we're just keeping our boundaries pushed down inside of us and we're not sharing them. People don't know how to interact with us if we don't have boundaries, right? I can think of some specific times when I've been dating when I don't know their boundaries and I don't know my boundaries, and there's a ton of anxiety, right? Can you guys relate to that? If you don't know someone else's boundaries and you don't share yours, of course, it's going to feel like we're walking on eggshells here. So part of your duty as a coach and as a leader is to tell your clients the most effective way to work with you, right? Are you not available on weekends? Are you not available after 5? Do you now raise your rates? Is now the time to raise your rates? You're checking inside of yourself versus outside of you. Instead of waiting to see if your clients agree, you're making a decision now that it's time, that's it. And you're going to know, because it's going to be a feeling. It's going to be like an itch. It's going to be like I am not going to coach for this price anymore, because then you feel resentful. And we'll talk about how to intuitively set your prices, because I'm sure a lot of you here, especially if you're coaching, you may not know how to set the proper price for you. If you struggle with self-worth, you need validation from outside of you, from your clients, you probably are asking, well, how do I know what to charge? How many of you have ever asked that? How do I know what to charge? Put charge in the comments. How many of you ever asked that? How do I know what to charge? Yep. How many of you have ever asked this? How do I know what to charge? And you look at the market, you look at other life coaches, you look at other social workers, you look at other real estate agents, you look at other consultants, rather than digging deep inside of you and seeing your true value. Are you charging your true value? You guys already know the answer to this. Are you charging your true value? Put yes. Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down in the comments. Are you charging your true value or not? Are you charging your true value? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Because you already know. You already know whether what you're charging or what you want to charge is going to be your true value or not. And that's the feeling we want to tap into to set our rates. Yeah. Yep. So these thumbs down, what are they telling you? What's the message in all of this, right? The next principle is think about what's best for your business so that you can help your clients or customers even more. Can you help your clients and customers if you're drained? Can you serve them even more productively, with more power and more energy, if your cup isn't full? If you haven't eaten lunch, if you haven't eaten breakfast, if you haven't gone to take care of your body, you haven't worked out, you haven't slept well, you're not giving yourself that me time, how can you give back? Can you see how enmeshment shows up in business as well as in your personal lives? What overlap are you seeing in business and in your personal life? This is going to help you start to really dig in, specifically get the specifics on where you're becoming enmeshed and who are you becoming enmeshed with, or what are you becoming enmeshed in your business? Is your business your source of identity? Are you only good enough because you have a business? Are you only good enough because you have clients? Are you only good enough as a coach because you have high ticket paying clients? Are you only good enough because you get a thumbs up or a smile or a good testimonial? This is the pattern we want to break. We want to stop getting that sort of a high from things outside of us. Okay? Next thing, number 4, is to be willing. Here's what's really going to empower you guys going forward with your businesses as coaches or consultants or just service-based providers, is to be willing to let customers walk away or get angry or frustrated or stressed. How can you help people if first you're impeding their ability to show up as who they are? If you're too busy people pleasing, they're going to feel like they need to please you. So how can you help them? If you're trying to prevent them from getting angry, upset, stressed out, feeling pain about paying you, pain about letting go of that money to serve themselves. Can you see that? Can you see why it's important to let your clients or even your prospects to feel some discomfort? Because that's who they really are. That's what they need help with, right? And the last two principles. Start to discover, here's the solution, right? For enmeshment. Start to discover who you are and tap into your own true self. Start to discover who you are and tap into your own authentic self, which means your own authentic feelings, being truly honest with yourself. You got to start to be truly honest with yourself, right? Or else, if we aren't allowing ourselves to show up honestly, how can we present that opportunity to our clients? How can we be that coach to lead others if we aren't giving them space to show up? As scared, as anxious, as fearful, as resentful. I've had clients tell me that, I feel anxious just around you. I feel like I need to please you. Perfect. Now we have a barrier to break through. Now we have the real barrier, right? And finally, I think after all of this, after declaring your independence, it's time to declare your independence, find your inner voice. And finally, you all know what's next. Stop trying to please everyone and start to show up authentically. And again, this is going to come from setting boundaries. So, what is next for you guys? What is the next step? What resonated with you the most from here? What was your biggest aha moment tonight? What's your biggest aha moment here tonight? What was your biggest value that you've taken away? What really clicked inside of your own mind here tonight? What resonated with you guys? Especially if you're coaches. If you want to be a high ticket premium paying coach, this is what is going to separate you from every other coach down the street. Because I can guarantee you most other coaches are also struggling with this. So this is what separates you. This is what is going to put you in the premium category. Are you ready to up-level not only your income, but also who you're working with and the results you both are getting? The results in your business and your clients' results as a result of working with you. What resonated with you tonight? What was your biggest aha moment? Put it in the comments. Go ahead, drop it below. Where do you need to start so that you can untangle yourself? Yeah. Putting yourself in other people's shoes. Thanks for sharing, Maria. Yeah. What do you need to stop doing? How about that's a better question? What do you need to stop doing so that you can untangle yourself from other people's emotions, thoughts and feelings? What do you need to stop doing? This is a great question. Should be inspiring some insights from you guys already. Should already be hitting some insights for you guys from your subconscious. So don't think about it. Feel into this question. Let clients learn from themselves. Beautiful, beautiful. You can lead however you want. Exactly. Like cutting that cord. The minute you're not in front of them, now it's up to them, right? And they can reach out to you. They probably have your email. Maybe you guys are connected in other ways, Voxer and other ways, right? But giving them the chance to walk, right? Kind of like how we let babies learn, right? We let babies learn by by falling on their face, right? Yes, Selena says, I love what you have shared, but I don't like when you or anyone says charge what you're worth. I don't equate my worth with money. How much am I worth? I am beyond that measure. Yeah, exactly. I feel the same way. I'm like, what I have to offer, and maybe you guys are feeling that too. What I have to offer is priceless, right? If you're a coach, you probably have something that you can't even put into money, right? You can't even put it into dollar bills, right? But if we want to start making money in our business, right? Then how are we gonna exchange that, right? Money is just it's just energy exchange, right? So yeah, we're not putting our worth into dollar bills. That's not what we're doing here. Because first of all, hopefully you're not selling by number of sessions, right? You're selling what you think is a proper first of all, what's a good stretch? And we'll talk about this more in the future about setting your proper price point. But exactly, for most of you guys here, what you have is invaluable. It's priceless. You probably have some amazing gift or message to share with the world. But at the end of the day, we're also running businesses, right? So there needs to be an exchange. An energetic exchange needs to happen so that people sign on to work with you and you are signed on to work with them as well. And that's where the money piece comes in. So it's not about the dollar, right? But how much is it going to take? Here's a better way of putting it. How much money is it going to take for your clients and customers to show up in a way that they are going to get the results that they need? That's a better way to gauge not your worth, but what you're going to charge for your services. You see that? Yep. Yeah, Jackie, really good. Really good. Don't get impatient. I know this has been a personal struggle of mine as well, is letting them learn, even if they come back to you with the same question 3 or 4 times, right? Answer that question 3 or 4 times. And let them know, right? Call them out, right? Like, hey, it's been 4 months, or it's been 3 weeks, or however much time, and I've noticed we haven't moved forward here. And then dive into what's going on. Why is there a need to keep repeating this, right? I would be curious as what's going on there. And Karen says, stop internalizing your clients' results. Yep, stop doing that. Yep, absolutely. Or else you're going to hold your customers back. You're going to hold your clients back. Think about what it took for you to learn. Think about the best coach you've ever worked with. Chances are, if you're a coach or consultant here, you have a coach or you have had a coach. And when did you have more fire underneath your butt? When did you learn the most? When they let the reins go. When they stayed quiet for a week or 2 weeks, let you do the falling on your face, right? Let you reach out to get help. Or the ones who are babysitting you, who are checking in on you, who are constantly wondering if you're okay, right? Sometimes if we struggle with enmeshment, we feel this need to check in. Are they okay? Do they have what they need? We over obsess with our clients' results. We over obsess, right? And again, this goes back to taking on responsibility. So can you see how powerful this concept of enmeshment is, and how important it is beyond all the strategies? beyond all the strategies behind what to say on your sales call, what to say when you first start with a client, how to wrap up your sessions, blah, blah, blah. None of that matters if you're not showing up in a way where you end and others can clearly see where they begin. You see that? And you're teaching them that. You're teaching them what you've learned for yourself, right? Most of us were teaching a younger version of ourselves, right? Most of us are teaching a younger version of ourselves, right? So if you got value out of this training and you'd like to see how I can help you more, in the comments right now, go ahead and put help in the comments. If you want to know how else I can help you, put help in the comments. And when you do this, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to reach out to you tonight or tomorrow morning sometime. I'm going to ask you some questions and see if what I have for you is a good fit. So we're going to do that before we go any further. So if you got value out of this, go ahead and put value below in the comments. It lets me know that you're resonating with this topic, that this has been of value to you guys. So let me know in the comments if this has been value. Yes, if you want to know more about how I may be able to help you, go ahead, put help in the comments. I'll be reaching out to everybody who puts help in the comments tonight or tomorrow morning. And we will see, I'll ask you some questions and we'll see if what I have for you is going to be a good fit for you to help you build momentum in your business and step into the authority that you need to be to put yourself in that category of a high premium paid coach, right? It's time to see your value and feel good about making people a little uncomfortable, right? Because it's so true, right? If we stay in our comfort zone, we don't grow. If we keep our clients comfortable, they don't grow. True or not true, right? True or not true? Push them out a little. Push them out into the comfort zone a little bit. See if they can stagger, see if they can walk, right? Like I said, if this has been helpful for you guys, put value in the comments. You all give me so much value back and letting me know how I can help you. So thank you for tuning in this Monday. We'll come in with another topic next Monday. Post your comments and questions to this group because I'm here to answer your questions as well. Put help in the comments if you want more further help, if you want to see if what I have can also help you. So have an amazing rest of your night, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Let's make it a powerful and productive week. And I'm excited to talk to you all next Monday. Bye, guys.